the National.
Right.
Actually, he's a bit of a thesaurus on music and adjectives, and he's such a muso.
Yeah.
So I can't really not listen to him when he says, "You've got to check this band out." And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, which is always good, because I think if you're listening to lots of different music from different angles and all different boxes, then you're less likely to come out with something cliched. And even if you've got your more safe sort of areas where you like to be, obviously I'm a guitarist, that's my main instrument, but it inspires you to maybe get on another instrument, like a piano is a really melodic instrument. You can work out cool harmonies, and that's a great instrument to write on. But also things like mandolin and ukulele, I've started experimenting a little bit.
How many
with that.
instruments can you play?
Oh, well, I'm not Mike Oldfield or anything, but so far I've been using a little bit of ukulele in some of the live sets.
Yeah.
It's a fun little instrument, it's quite cute. Yeah. Me and my missus, we saved up for 6 months after we got married, and we went travelling to Southeast Asia for a couple of months. We started in Thailand, landed in Bangkok. That was a culture shock, I can tell you. Those of you who haven't been there who are listening now, if you ever get a chance to go, well, their version of a taxi is a tuk-tuk. Yeah. And it's like they're on a racetrack permanently, whizzing around. And but we took ukuleles because the guitar was too big to carry around with us.
Yeah.
And we popped down to the Music City in Worcester. I ended up having a Bart Simpson one.
Really?
Which is a garish orange colour, but it was okay. It was, some of the cheaper ones, they're only like 20 quid or something anyway, but some of the cheap ones didn't stay in tune.
Yeah.
But Emma had a... What did she have now? It wasn't as a ridiculous colour as mine anyway. I got numbered with that one. Yeah. But they did the job anyway, so we had a little go on those. And actually it was quite weird coming back to play on a full-size guitar, having had 2 months no guitar. Yeah. Apart from one day where I got to do a little bit of a jamming session with this guy. We were doing a hill tribe trek in North Thailand near a place called Chiang Mai. It's well on the travellers' sort of list of places to go. We went on this. We wanted to ride an elephant, so we did this jungle trek and then went on the top of these elephants. It's amazing. They're for such a massive creature. Yeah. I don't know how to talk about elephants now. We could tie that into one of the racetracks actually, which is called White Elephant. But considering their size, they're so nimble. We trekked up this really narrow track. You know, and it's that thin. It's like single file for us on our human little legs. Yeah. So we walked all the way up, and then once we got to the elephants, we realised they were going to come back down the way we came. And the dexterity, they're so nimble, and they sort of manoeuvred. Admittedly, they weren't sprinting down there. No. But they took such a careful path down, and you just felt there's no bother here. We're not going to fall over or anything. These guys know what they're doing. It was such an amazing experience in that they live as long as humans almost, and you can just tell that it's a really intelligent creature just when you get on them, and I don't know, they're quite calming to be in their presence actually. But travelling, that's a great experience to, you know, listen to different music. And this guy who took us on this hill tribe trek, his name's Mong, which over here is sort of kind of has a different connotation, I suppose. But over there, Mong is like Dave. Yeah, okay. Everyone knows Mong.
Yeah, King Mong.
King Mong, yeah. He didn't have a video camera or anything, but he had a guitar, and I got to borrow it for a second. But I got my ukulele, and I've got little photos of it actually. We're having a little bit of a jam. Yeah. And I was trying to keep it upbeat with about, you know, 3-chord wonder type songs, because I was only just learning it. I didn't even know many chords, so I tried to do, you know, sort of upbeat, happy songs. And then he would do these nice chilled out songs, and they were obviously in a different language, so we couldn't understand it. I don't know if it was in... It's just that where we trekked was near the border, so I'm not sure what dialect it was, but it's something on the Thai lines. And we couldn't understand what he was saying, so our interpreter, our guide, was saying what the songs were about. And every song by none was about losing a girlfriend and love had been lost. And the guy just, as he was saying it, he was such a bubbly guy. He would say it like he was telling you something really happy. Yeah. And he got something. He said, "Oh, this is about he had a girlfriend and then she left him and he lost all his money." And he said in his happy voice, and everybody was like, "Is that good over here, or is that to do with the Buddhist sort of? You can't have lots of possessions." And, but it's definitely left its mark on me doing a bit of travelling. And I think to see people that really don't have a pot to verbally in, you know, it's quite humbling really. And you feel really privileged to go out there and sort of see these people who are finding happiness even though they haven't got all these material things, and then you come back home and see what a consumerism run sort of society that we're in, and it's a good reality check really. I think music's it's such a great thing because it operates outside of that sort of the capitalist consumerist sort of world that we sort of have it in our faces. It's in your grill every day, and I think that's why music for me is such a special thing. It's a release, and it also it crosses barriers of language as well. So I'd be playing some jam song or something to Mong, and he's really tripping out and digging on it, and he doesn't know what I'm singing about, but he's just got the groove.
He's got the groove and the melody in there.
And the melody, and that's enough. And then if he's into it, then he'll get someone to interpret and go to say what the song's about. I don't know how our guide would interpret Paul Weller's songs. I'm sure he'd say it in a very positive.
Exactly.
Stones on the beach.
Yeah. Did you like travelling the world then? Did you do a lot of travelling?
To date, I've been out to America a few times, recorded an EP, done some TV. I only went to Texas, but that's a very big state. I'm sort of passed through New York, I suppose, on the way. So I got to rub shoulders with a few of the New Yorkers, if you like.
Nice.
And they are quite different. Like each state seems to have its own.
Own personality.
Yeah, it does, I think. And they have their own laws. They're almost like they're as big as countries, really.
Their own principalities.
Basically, they're called them prince. Well, they're basically got their own countries, and they talk slightly different as well. So I've been to America, been out to Norway a few times. You probably know Brian Marr pretty well.
He's skiing some.
Well, I met King Dave actually at a Mars Bar gig, I think.
Yeah, back in the jam night days.
Watching Amy Watch. Do you still keep in touch with her?
I'll see what she's up to. She's still playing about, isn't she?
Yeah.
She did a release with Ed Sheeran, I believe.
Yeah, she wrote some stuff with Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
She was to go, was she? Or?
From Bristol, she lives down that way.
She's got, I think her husband's Welsh. She's quite influential for me and watching her play before. And there's another guy in the Mars Bar called Declan Bennett. He went under the name Some Lad from Cov. He's from Coventry originally. But he's over gigging in New York quite a lot now.
Wow.
This industry is all about who you know, really. And just like Amy Wadge, who'd have known that Ed Sheeran was going to go as far as he has. And she's got that now.
Exactly.
You know, written songs. I mean, I think that EP or whatever it was called Songs I Wrote with Amy. So I was just really chuffed for her, because I know she's a great songwriter anyway. You see other people doing it, and you think, okay, I don't want to be the same as them, but if I can be mentioned in the same sentence, that would be pretty nice.
Yeah, that would be.
It's not an ego-driven thing, music. You just try and be the best that you can be, and just keep improving and enjoying what you're doing. And then if other people like it as well, that's great. So if you get up to the festival and you play and people are digging it, and you're doing something you love as well, I think there's a connection there. Like, you obviously love what you're doing, and they can tell that. And I don't think you can fake that. So when people come out with the old, are you going to go on X Factor? Are you going to win Britain's Got Talent?
Does that really irritate you?
No, I don't take it as an insult. It's a compliment. But at the same time, I'm trying to explain to them that's not about songwriters. It's not about being original and ploughing your own furrow and doing your own thing. It's about entertaining people on a show, which it does extremely well. And you know, I couldn't knock it. Everyone from my cousin who's 4 years old can watch it, right the way through to my granddad, who's 86 or something, and they're all telling me about it, and so I'm like, sorry, I've been out gigging, so I haven't worked out how to record it, and I've got the Sky Box or whatever. You know, but anyone who goes on it, it's got to have massive kahunas to go out there and do it. Especially the risk as well is that if they portray you in a light that's not really displaying you as you are, it's quite manipulative, really, and you do have to, you know, get quite involved in terms of your freedom as to who you can work with while the show's going on. So I haven't chickened out. I just don't think you should do things that your heart's not in.
No, exactly.
And I know myself well enough now. I'm 32. I know I know myself well enough that I wouldn't dig that.
Yeah.
And it's not a hoop that I'm going to jump through.
Yeah.
I'm either going to do it my way or not at all, or I'll still be doing it when I'm 80 and just do it my way.
Yeah.
But loving it all the whole time rather than being resentful.
If you got enough money to get by, and you can say I'm scratching my living out making music.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you do this full time?
Yeah, full-time job.
Yeah.
I do a lot of weddings,
Yeah.
and I do enjoy them. You know, it's making someone else, or someone else's
making them feel something.
Yeah, and just making it special for them.
Yeah.
And customising songs, and because I write songs, and I can rewrite lyrics to suit. You know, say they've got a first dance, and they love the music, but the lyrics are a bit dodgy for a wedding.
Yeah.
And we can rewrite it, and so you can still be creative in it. Also doing cover songs, you can do your own versions of them. In fact, a lot of people seem to get quite far on YouTube, posting up videos of things that they've done, their own interpretations of it, and all of a sudden they're getting millions of hits on YouTube. Some of them are rubbish, let's be fair, but there's some gems amongst that. I mean,
definitely.
Like Dave was saying earlier, you've got everybody's there. We've all got that platform now, and everybody's trying to outshout everybody else. So I still think like the live gig is where you would pick up your hardcore fans that will follow you through thick and thin. I just came back from doing a festival in North Devon called Gold Coast Ocean Fest.
Oh,
it's the most
my home county.
It's the most fantastic setting. You'll know Croyd.
I know Croyd well. My cousins go there every year.
Do you ever surf down there, or
me surf? The surfboard would just go right down to the bottom.
What about bodyboarding?
No, I had to go at windsurfing ages back. That almost killed me.
Oh right.
Are you in? Is it surfing? Yeah.
I've had a go at windsurfing. I did that at university.
My cousins are nuts at it. They're lifeguards now, both of them on Bude Beach.
They
go to that. They swear by that Gold Coast Fest.
Ocean Fest.
Oh, the Ocean Fest.
They have some big names there.
Yeah.
You know, and for me personally, I mean, I wouldn't say idolise him, but he's definitely someone I look up to. Is Newton Faulkner.
Oh,
His real name's Samuel, I think.
Yeah.
But Newton sounds pretty cool. Got into it.
Yeah.
But the way he can make so much out of just himself playing. The talent of the man is just immense. Also, Ben Howard's headlined there. Jason Mraz. Do you remember the Magic Numbers?
I do.
Apparently they played the same as Jason Mraz, and they turned into an awesome set.
C6 Steve went there too, didn't he?
I think he has actually.
Yeah.
No, you say it.
Yeah.
The stage is about as big as Park stage.
I actually went there after the gig and saw it.
Yeah?
Yeah, 1 year.
Well, they
I
can't
just
take you down
missed it
straight
for a
away.
weekend. Yeah.
But to play on the same stage that those guys have been on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would be nice to do this every week.
Leveling the playing field there.
Yeah, but being independent and unsigned as such, which I'm happy to be at the moment until the right deal comes along. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But you know, my future's always going to be playing live music. But I'd like to write songs for other people as well. And I've just written a song, and I've got it coming out as a single with a female singer called Laura Broad.
Oh, we know Laura. I do at least.
Yeah, she's a fantastic vocalist, and she writes as well. So it was great to like get her input on the song. I've sort of written the basis of it, and then we kind of went away and worked on it together. Finished it off. Went in the studio up in Wolverhampton. There's a place called Magic Garden.
Oh yeah.
Gavin Monaghan is the chief up there, and he's great to work with, and he's been doing it for quite a long time now.
He knows what's what.
He knows the score, and he knows what's a hook line.
Yeah.
And, he was really positive about it. We did a video, chatting about Malvern's earlier, weren't we?
Yeah.
And Carolee Sampson's from Malvern. Well, we went up to Malvern to film the second half of the video.
Right.
And the viewers, well, we haven't got viewers here, we've got listeners, haven't we? So you can't see, but I'm wearing a Trilby hat. That sort of
well, they can check the
you will be able
Facebook
to
page
see
out.
Well, that's my little trademark.
Is
I've
it?
been wearing a hat for a few years now.
Yeah.
And it's not as extreme as Jamiroquai, but people do recognise you from wearing the hat.
Yeah.
So I thought I was good to have the hat in the video then, haven't I?
Yeah.
So I had to gaffer tape my hat onto my head because it's so windy from Malvern.
Behind the scenes footage.
And I had Laura there sitting in a bit of time out when I set it up the next shot, and she's there treating her. John Greenaway's just taped his hat to his head. Awesome, like.
She's sat there looking like an English rose, so you're going round and round with the tape.
It was great fun to do the video, and we shot the first half of the video in Worcester. I had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, which some musicians have only just gone to bed.
Exactly.
I'm not that much of hardcore, you know. Like maybe I go to bed about 2 or 3, something like that. But
pushing it there.
Getting up at 5 is still a bit of a shock. But we had to get in there before the streets got really busy.
Yeah, where did you go in Worcester then?
You know View Cinema?
Yeah.
If you come along there a little bit, I think it's called Friar Street.
Yes.
We've actually started where the conservatory is.
Yeah, right.
A nice little bar playing sometimes. And the only person that was there, you won't obviously see them on the video, but I could hear them as I was trying to listen into the little speaker that I'm miming to, if you like. I am singing along, but I'm trying to sync it.
Yeah, you always have to have the best
audio.
audio.
And he kept drowning me out. The guy in the road sweeper. I bumped into him about 3 times, and I was doing this shot where the cameraman was Owen Ulliott is his name. Great little. He's one to watch out for as far as filmmaking is concerned, and he's won some little awards already. To be fair, and I've been working with him on that. But he had the Steadicam, which is on this sort of. They attach like a body piece to you, and then the weight of the camera goes onto this arm, and then they put the camera on, and it basically takes all the movements, like all the juddering and movement that you wouldn't want when you walk, and it takes it out of the shot. So he had this strapped on, and he was walking backwards, and it's quite tricky to keep walk backwards with this thing filming it as well. So I felt really sorry for him, and he was keeping one eye out for this road sweeper who's about to run him over. I don't know if he was curious or he just wanted his moment of fame, because I suppose they see a camera and think,
circle around the block.
You still see it on the news, don't you, on Midlands Today?
People run up.
There's a camera, let's jump in the shot. I won't look like a wally, come on.
Tell us about Raise then.
Raise is a band that I've been in and fronted for some years now. It's over a decade. And we've gone through various phases. From me playing acoustic and the rest of the band sort of bolting on the parts to that, all the way through to some really quite heavy sort of Rage Against the Machine type riffs. But to be honest with you, my vocal doesn't suit the heavier genre, and I need instruments and backing that will allow my vocal to breathe, if you like. And I've sort of realised this in an organic process of just being in the business and picking things up from different sound engineers and producers as you go, and they'll explain to you and you pick up things. And if you're open-minded, which I like to think I am, then you gradually start to realise where you've been going wrong. And so now we've got a situation where Alex Rainsford has joined the band, and I'd like him to be like lead vocalist, and I'll still jump up and do some leads sometimes on the vocals, but I'll go back to my original post. I'm only a singer by default, you see. The first band that I was in, which was formed out of schoolmates, we had a singer. It was a 5-piece, and it was more like Oasis sort of setup. In fact, the singer, Jim, wanted to be Liam Gallagher, I think, at the time, and we recorded a little demo in this little lock-up place over in Hales Owen, and somehow it got back to the sixth form college. It's not college, we didn't go to college, we stayed on at school, which probably didn't suit him really, but somehow it got onto into the common room speakers, and it got played, and the fittest bird in the school, she's walking past and she heard it, she goes, "Who's singing that? It sounds like he's dying, like strangled cat," something like that. And he virtually took off, just flew off up the alley and smoked a whole packet of fags, and then he just quit the band, and he was just like,
"Can't take it.
I'm not doing it anymore." And so we were left with 2 guitarists. I was lead guitar. You had the drummer and the bass player, and no one going to sing. So I had to do the singing, and I sort of stepped into that role. And I used to get up in between sets with the band was playing, and we'd do some of our own, some covers as you do. But generally the gaffers at the pubs, they want you to play for a good 2 hours, and we didn't have enough songs for that. So I would get up in between and I would sing some songs, just me. I wouldn't get the acoustic, but I'd turn my electric guitar down and play it more like an acoustic, so it wasn't all distorted. So it sounded in context. So it was more the singer-songwriter setup really, and I used to find that when I did that, I could interact with the audience better because I didn't have someone sat behind me saying, "Hurry up, do the next song, what you're messing about at." You can't really be spontaneous when you've got a set list and you've got to stick to it, and you've got people that are sort of a bit twitchy, nervous behind you, like, come on, we don't want any downtime. Yeah. But for me, I like to chat, as you've probably gathered by now.
We are 20 minutes into this interview.
20 minutes.
Dave might need to do a little bit of editing.
Yeah.
I don't know when to get. It's like I've got no friends in it. Yeah. Pouring out my heart to God. But I'd do these little sets in the middle, and that's when I realised, I could do this and get and just play whole sets on my own.
Yeah, yeah.
And I could chop and change the tempo, or if a song wasn't working, I could move on to another one, and it wasn't like you were strapped into this sort of machine like you're on the treadmill when you're playing in a band. Yeah. Everybody's got to know where they're at. Yeah. You can't just suddenly go off and do your own thing. And that's one of the often people ask me and say, what do you prefer doing? Do you like being in a band more, or do you like playing the acoustic solos gigs more? And I said, well, I love both, but they are very different. The solo acoustic side of it, you get the freedom in that you can play, you can chop and change the set, you can stop and talk to the audience, you can be spontaneous at any point you want. But then the downside is, if you stop, the whole gig stops. Yeah. So you've got more work in one way, whereas the band, you've got that interaction. You'll know when you look over to your musician mate if he's made a gaff but he's covered it. And he's sort of, you have a little smile and you've got that interaction on stage then. Yeah. So you sort of enjoy it and you're just sharing it, not just with the audience but in your little group as well. Yeah. And then of course you get to make bigger sounds, which is partly why I wanted to play some live tracks tonight, so you get that sort of singer-songwriter feel to it. And that's what I do a lot of the time, but also you have ideas that you need really a whole band to recreate live. So in the studio I'll get there and go, okay, a little bit of ukulele would be nice on this bit, or a little bit of mandolin, and you just do little parts here and there, maybe a bit of piano. I can't play a whole gig on piano, but I can pick out melodies that will work. And that's what we did on this latest single, Unbreakable. There's little piano bits and so on. That'll be released quite soon actually. Really? Yeah. I've just got to get a Vivo channel set up, which all the big name artists have got Vivo channels. Okay. So we're trying to get on that with Ditto Music, which basically allows the little man to release his records, and he passes it on to iTunes and Napster and Spotify and so on. So you'll be able to listen to all this music online or go onto the download sites, which is the way the industry's gone now. Yeah. People can pick and choose, but I've still got the idea to have an album concept at some point, where there's certain tracks that you don't expect people to listen to as singles, but you've got to have your 3 singles that you're going to promote and do a video, and that drives people to just look at what your other stuff is. But what I often find is, me personally, when I listen to album tracks, they actually grow on me, and I end up liking them more than I like the singles. Right.
So what's White Elephant? Is that an album track or is that a single?
That's the Raised track. You tied it in with elephants there from earlier, if you haven't fallen asleep by now. That track really, that's where I think Raised have sort of come on from where we were at. It's not as distorted guitars, and it lets the vocal breathe a bit more, but it gets some atmosphere with using some keyboard sounds as well. I don't know if it will be a single, but I know it's a banging track when we do it live.
Okay, well, we'll listen to it now.